everyone. My name is Annabelle Eisenmann. I am a senior at Bridgewater State University, majoring in severe disabilities and special education for grades K through 12. I also have a minor in recreation. This is my presentation for my undergraduate research that I completed this semester, and it is based on the app Proloquo2go. So let's get right into it. This is an agenda of what I plan to cover during this presentation. First, I plan to cover the projected audience, which I will identify who the projected audience is and why. I plan to cover the instructional strategies, so what Proloquo2go is, how it's defined, and why it works and what it is. I plan to cover documentation and support. I found a lot of proof and scholarly articles which support my research and support the app itself. And so I will explain those and show what they provided for research. I will demonstrate how to use the app, so instructing you on the features of the app and how to personalize the app yourself. I will present data collection and various methods of data collection that can be used to collect data on the student or have the student collect their own data when using the app. I will present data decision making, which includes what the data means and how it contributes overall to helping the student. I will present follow-up strategies, so what to do after this presentation and how to move forward if you wanted to continue using the app. And finally, I will present my citations and open any questions, concerns, or comments. For the projected audience, this includes current and future teachers, paraprofessionals, employers, family members or mentors, peers, the student themselves, and any related services. So adaptive PE, OT, the AAC center on campus, and my specific presentation does target BSU students, so post-secondary mainly, and ages 18 to 25. A typical AAC device, so an alternative augmented communication device, is where pictures are used with corresponding words. This particular app, Proloquo2go, does cost $249.99. However, there are a lot of free options or additional AAC devices that you could use that would not cost this amount if you are not willing to pay $250. In my opinion, these apps are very generalized and target every student with every possible need, which, while beneficial for some students in special ed that are very independent, this is not the typical audience that we're going to see in special ed. And so generalizing the app is negative in a way where we want the app to reach a point where it's very personalized and specific to the student, so it is an extension of themselves. So I will be teaching you how to do that today. The various things that you can personalize in the app is basically everything. You can personalize the pictures being used, the words, what the words are, how you say them. So if you want to use like a slang instead of the typical word, you could adjust that. You can adjust the people, the places, and the things. We need to start with personalizing the app to the student and then moving to the way that the app generally comes to help the student adjust to the environment and adjust to using the app. When they first get the app, it's easiest to learn the app if it's specific to you rather than super general. So that is kind of where we want to start with the student, and then once it's specific and they're used to using it in the specific manner, then we can kind of fade support and work to a more general, naturally occurring state. The app is able to support student communication in a personalized way that is a part of their daily life and an extension of them, so it shouldn't ever feel unnatural or seem out of place or the student feel excluded for using this type of app. It's just a part of them. And they should feel included and like all of their other college-age peers. For our documentation and support, I found a lot of various scholarly articles that I want to go over. So the studies show that while AAC devices like Proloquo2go are beneficial because students are able to communicate, they are also negatively influencing the student because it needs to be personalized to their specific wants and needs and adjusted to their lifestyle rather than generalized for every possible college student, because we're also different. So it's not realistic to have the app look the same for every student. Once personalized, students are able to have scaffold support and faded support so that eventually they can reach a point of the app is generalized and they feel completely comfortable with that and they're able to use the app independently. Personalization also makes the app feel more like the student is in control, so they are able to choose their own pictures, their own titles, the words that are being used, and what specific icons they want to use, and how they want to communicate with their peers rather than somebody else deciding those things for them. As college students, we are all able to choose how we communicate and the way in which we communicate with our friends and our parents and our professors, and students with disabilities should have that same opportunity. The app has specific photos, grids, voices, including female, male, adult, child, depending on the age group of students that you're working with, as well as various languages that you can use to, again, make the app more specific and customized to the student themselves. We want the app to be naturally occurring, essentially meaning that they fit in the best that they can with their like-aged peers, with everyone else that is 18 to 25 years old. By personalizing the app, students are able to use the same aspects such as slang, language, references that their peers would use, and be able to contribute meaningfully to the conversation and not feel excluded in any way. So these are some screenshots of the app that I took off of my personal iPad, which is where I downloaded the app. So when looking at the app, this will be kind of the homepage that you're going to look at, and you can choose any of these folders down at the bottom. I chose places to personalize for this example, but you can choose any of them. You would go and click the pencil once inside of the folder. Then you would choose the plus icon, and from there you would add as many icons as you like. So I added a variety of icons which are specific to the BSU campus. So things like the Tinsley Center, a typical dorm room, food on campus, buildings on campus, those type of things, along with the slang that they would typically use as a college student. So for example, ECC instead of East Campus Commons, or RSU instead of the Rondelou Student Union. And those help to make students feel more included and more acclimated to the college life. When collecting data, there is kind of a variety of ways in which you can do this. The methods that I found best were these two specific charts. So this chart on your left is a chart which a parent or a teacher or maybe a educational coach, if they're in the Excel program, someone like that would likely fill out. This is if you were providing support to the student but not having them fill out the form themselves independently. I would progressively personally move into this chart on the right. This allows the student to completely fill out the progress and data that they're taking and how they're progressing using the app and the level of independence that they're receiving on their own, which is what all of us as college students would do. We kind of work by ourselves, we work independently, we ask for help when we need it, and so this chart on the right would provide a college student using an AAC device with all of those same opportunities. When completing the first chart on the left, this is kind of how you would go about completing it. So you would start by inputting the student name and their communication goal specifically at the top. The communication goal would come from their sorry, I went forward. The communication goal will come from their IEP directly, or if they are in college at BSU and in the Excel program, this would likely come from their PCP goal. Then the next step would be completing the date, the time, the subject, when they were using the app, the level of independence in which they completed the task, or the time in which they were using the app, what level of independence they had in that time frame, and then any notes or clarification that you want to provide could go in that last column. For the second section, this top part in red burgundy would be the overall arching communication goal that they are looking to receive. This second portion would be kind of their specific lesson or goal, more directed. So for example, in this specific scenario, it states arrives to class on time with necessary supplies. So if the student does that, then you would rank them from 1 to 6 based on that. 6 is being completely independent every single time without fail. They are always on top of it and they can do everything by themselves. And 1 is they do not even complete the test. They do not even consider completing it. So that would kind of be the difference within scoring. With follow-up, this looks at the next steps to take. So this would be kind of training adults. So any adult working with the student, which could be an employer, a teacher, a para, a coach, mentors, their siblings, their parents, those type of things, feeling comfortable using the app as well as collecting data on the app to help the student best achieve that level of independence that we're looking for. Those would be kind of how you would want to train adults. Training the student, eventually we do want the student to be completely independent without needing any of that support. So teaching the student how to use the app, how to collect their own data, how to adjust the app if they want to make adjustments, those type of things. And then finally, just working to help them reach their goals. How can we adjust the app or make it more generalized or provide additional support to fit whatever setting you are looking to use it in? And then finally, these are my citations from my scholarly articles, as well as an app specific to Proloquo2go and how that is used. And then if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, feel free to reach out to me via email. I have a Bridgewater State email, so super easy to find with my name. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.